mission through the movieverse tonight. Chasing aliens, bad plots, and CGI that ain't quite right. Dave leads the charge with the captain's command. John's the rookie, still learning where to land. Shane drops beats that walk through time. Chad fixes tech with precision so fine. The Sci-Fi Guys. The Sci-Fi Guys.
Welcome, everyone, back to the Sci-Fi Guys. That's right, we are the return of these Sci-Fi Guys. I kind of made a little graphic here for us, just kind of be goofy. Yeah, we took a little hiatus. I needed a break. I needed some time to myself to figure some things out. So we took what was it? About 2 months? 2 months off? Month and a half? Something like that?
Ish,
somewhere in there. So anyway, go around the room. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm John. I'm the rookie, still learning where to land, and honestly, it felt great just to hear that music again.
I know.
It's so fun. I'm surprised how much and how little I remember of it. But yeah, glad to be back. It's been a great time.
I'm Shane. Very happy to be back.
Are you that happy to be back? I'm Chad. I may sound pessimistic, but no, I'm glad to be here and glad to get this back on the schedule.
That's right.
And of course, I'm Dave. Just very happy to be back. Not wearing the big headphones anymore. I got these little cool little. They look like little earrings almost, so I can hear these guys. But at the same time, when I was wearing my big ones, because my grandson's in the room right over there, I talk too loud, so I end up waking him up or anything. But so we didn't want to do that, did we?
No.
No, not
Definitely.
at all. All right.
Not me.
Also, it's our anniversary.
Oh, hey.
Okay, in April of 2023. Is that when we started? Yeah, in 2023, April of 2023. We started with Star Wars: A New Hope. And here it is, April of 2026. So that's what? 23, 24, 25. So this is beginning our 4th year. And so we figured it's a perfect time to do another Star Wars movie. Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So this is the last one of the original trilogy. I think that we've gone through all of them. We fixed the prequels when we did with those Sci-Fi Guys.
We did Rogue One,
and we've done Rogue One. So now comes all the. After this will be the.
no, just right there. Don't say
Disney
it. Right
run.
Will be
Dude,
the
can't-
high quality cinematography, low quality storyline Star Wars films.
Repeat storyline. That's all that
Yep.
it was. The repeat. Don't.
Well, we're not doing Metacritic. We're not doing any of that stuff anymore. But I have them in here still on the slides. What do you guys honestly? What do you think the critics have given Return of the Jedi? Just
I got
throw some numbers
85.
out there. Okay, 85 for John. Shane,
I'd say 80, just solid.
Chad,
I don't do 58. I don't. 59.
Chad's
whatever.
looking this stuff up.
I'm not looking at
That's
shit. I'm not.
You are
I'm
looking it up. It's
It's,
58. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no way you can get the number that close.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
Oh, I'm thinking
I'm not-
58.
I'm
While
thinking
everyone else
58
says
because
80s.
yeah, they go 85 now. I'm like, nope. I'm going to do the even number. I'm going to evens, even squeezies.
Right. Okay.
I'm not looking at that.
But yeah, no, we are talking about the Return of the Jedi. I have a little plot summary. No, we won't do the plot summary in a minute. Well, how's everyone doing? I know we've had a little bit of a break. I know it's kind of tiring for at least for John, Shane, and I. It's all testing this week for Georgia State testing, and I had a little first grader tell me, "You left me this morning." I said, "Well, you weren't outside. You're not outside at the time I get to your bus stop, and I open my doors and I close my doors and I drive on. If you are not there, that's your fault. You should be outside waiting 5 minutes before I get there. Your mom has an app that shows exactly where I am the entire time on the route. Not my fault. Now, if I don't stop, yes, it's my fault. But I stop. I put my lights on. I open my door. I'm not honking. Nope. No, because that's just going to give you more bad behavior to stay inside. When you hear the honk, then you'll be like, oh, I need to go outside. No, we're not playing that. No.
Yeah.
I feel like this has happened a few times.
Same child, multiple times.
Oh, well, yes. Okay, that's different.
So, and my high school, middle school kids, I never have any issues with. They always are there. I mean, they watch the app on their own phone, so they know when I'm coming around the corner. So they come outside and they're ready. My elementary kids, I got some of them, but I'm losing 9 of them this year, though.
Wow.
So I got 9 going up to the middle school.
Yikes.
Yeah, it's a lot. And tomorrow is supposed to be National Bus Driver Appreciation Day. So
I think he's just making that out there.
No, it's true.
No, it isn't. It's on our calendar. It's actually was on.
This is true, but they're legitimately, and this is not against anybody or any particular group who gets celebrated. There are too many days.
I agree.
There's literally for everything, and I'm like, we need to dial this back a little bit. Like, I wish. So, like, for maybe even like Teacher Appreciation Week, just do like education in general and just celebrate everybody. Make it easy. We don't need 30 days. Just give us one to celebrate everyone.
Oh, I agree. I think that would work out so much better.
And call it the last day of school and send them home. Not a half day. We just come and celebrate each other.
Yep.
They're not even there. Yes, sir.
Don't get me started on the half day thing. That's yeah. I know
Anywho, that's how we are. Life is great. Other than being tired, I'm still fully adulting. We've reunified a second child, and we're also on the way to adopting a second child. So we are
awesome.
Realistically, 2 and 2 on the record, Your Honor. So,
Your Honor. I can tell you've been in front of the judge a few times. So
only a few.
Only a few.
Any of you. So, Chad, anything new and exciting for you? Everything good?
Everything's good right now. Just staying busy.
Yeah.
Craziness of electrical work.
Oh, fun.
Well, we found out today that our generator that we test every Monday we've been having issues where it's sending influence of power surge to the building and tripping some stuff. And finally, we found out one of our battery backups in our server room went, oh, we're going bad. We're going to go down on you. And it's one of the handle the switches. I'm like, great.
Yeah. The joy.
I don't have internet. Get over it. I'm fixing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Well, we're here to discuss a movie. We're here to discuss Return of the Jedi. Probably the we won't go there. I was gonna say the last of the good Star Wars movies. But Return of the Jedi was definitely you could tell that they were trying to end on a high note when they did it. Here's a little brief synopsis. Luke Skywalker, now a confident Jedi, leads a mission to rescue Han Solo from the clutches of Jabba the Hutt. Meanwhile, the Rebel Alliance prepares for a decisive confrontation with the Galactic Empire, which is constructing a second Death Star. As Luke confronts Darth Vader and Emperor Palpatine, The forces of good and evil collide in a battle that will determine the fate of the galaxy. Let's start off. Which version did you guys watch? Did you watch the latest one? I'm assuming that one on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I was gonna say the updated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I watched the original.
I've seen both
on VHS. So
I've seen
the original
both.
is the better.
I've seen both.
The original's better because I know where Dave's going on this. I don't know if I want to steal his.
Well, no, there was. I like the special. I call it the special edition. I like the special edition on some things. I mean, like when they were in the hangar, and then you kind of had that upper view of the Millennium Falcon and the different ships that were there. In the original, it was just that one and like one X-wing. Then this one you could see A-wings and the B-wings. You could see a lot more of the different ships there. Like when Vader's flew into the Death Star, there was a TIE bomber sitting right there. And on that one, the original series didn't have that. So they tweaked some stuff, but they still didn't tweak the things that they really needed to tweak, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like when Han looks at the Millennium Falcon, you can tell that's just a big painted wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why didn't you fix that? Make it a little bit more realistic,
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. There was some things they just wanted to add to. They didn't want to take away from the original movie. They just wanted to add some tweaks to it if they could.
They took away from the original movie. They added
away.
Besides
the ghost.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, we'll get to that later. Trust me. Force Ghost. Something. Okay. We always Shane, you got to talk to us. Okay. You got to talk to us about the music. Was this like?
I don't think there's anything that can top it when you think about John Williams and the traditional Star Wars themes. I mean, I just don't think there's anything to really top that. You think about just your iconic composer, iconic themes. I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about it. It's John Williams and Star Wars. It doesn't get any better.
Yeah. So someone else talk, because I'm afraid I'm going to start coughing here. Someone else tell me what you liked about the movie, what you didn't like.
Okay, listen. If we're going to talk the repetition of story with the new ones, I think we can talk some of the repetition of story here. My God. Because there was definite elements, but I think the magic of the original trilogy is even with some of the same story elements, it's almost like they were more intentional callbacks as opposed to just literally stealing the story. And so I think a lot more of the parallels you draw between the third one and the first one are really just like, oh, look, they're hearkening back to this moment. And it's not really like, oh, this is just the same exact story reused. And I think they lose a lot of that magic as you go into newer parts. I think overall, still for the time it was made, some of the best special effects, especially practical special effects, especially in the original cut, obviously. But like, they were literally, I mean, at least 2 to 3 decades ahead of the curve, and nothing really topped it, and very few things even matched it at that time. And so, there's a reason Star Wars, I think, stayed so popular, stayed relevant, and that's just because they were doing stuff nobody else could. And it was very simple for them to keep that up when they're the only ones doing it. So overall, again, the story with callbacks, I love. The practical effects I love practical effects. As someone who loves technology and CGI too, when it's done well, I think it is much cooler when you make a practical effect work. And I think they did a lot. I talk.
All right. So here's this. Return of the Jedi. Remember at first, New Hope was just called Star Wars. They didn't think it was going to go on to the second one or the third one, and then so they had to rename. So they between going from Empire Strikes Back and that came out when, David? I'm refreshing my mind. Don't.
Empire Strikes Back came out in 81. Return of the Jedi came out in 84.
83, 84. So yeah, I think 2 years span. But then from Return of the Jedi till the prequels, I'm going since John brought it up.
That started in 1999. Was the first of the prequels?
Yeah, so
if I remember right.
Yeah, 99, right in 2000, like right when you had a few little things going on, but nothing major as a movie. This was to me is they were that was not in a rush, but it seemed like they rushed Return of the Jedi a little bit, trying to hurry up and finish it. But there was some on the back end of the budget area, what I remember hearing. But
well, they go ahead.
But they did a great job with this movie and to finish it up. I don't think this with the prequels, they had to fit it in. I know we said it before, they fit in to keep up what the original sequel trilogy did. So nobody, they said two babies. They could have just left Luke and Leia. There was just hey, they're not twin sisters. There wasn't twins. They were just
that was Lucas trying to be cute because apparently let's go back to A New Hope when she kissed him and then she kissed him again in Empire Strikes Back, and then this movie comes out and says, he's like, oh, you're my sister. Oh, I've known it. I've always known it. And you kissed him like you did twice?
Yeah.
No.
Even Hans was Luke's coming back. All right, when he gets back, I'll step out of the way. I won't be in your way. I'm like, no, I love him like my brother. I'm like, Hans looking at him like, what?
Yeah, that was one of those kind of make you scratch your head moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you guys, I don't know if you know this or not. At least maybe John and Shane. I'm not sure. I'm sure Chad knows this, but the original title was not Return of the Jedi. It actually, you can find some stuff out there. It was actually Revenge of the Jedi.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
and you can actually find some things that are actually logos and stuff that were made.
Yeah.
Movie posters that were actually made for it, and then they were like, no, it's not really a revenge. It's more of returning because they've been gone now, and Luke is exactly. That's more of a Sith way. So they kind of and I don't know if George was like, "Oh, I'm going to use Revenge of the Sith later," or something. I think that's one reason why they ended up calling it Revenge of the Sith in the prequels, because they wanted to use that word revenge eventually. But yeah, it started with as Revenge of the Jedi to Return of the Jedi, which I think Return of the Jedi sounds so much better because it's not so
harsh,
nefarious. I mean, to me, revenge kind of sounds like I'm getting back.
However, this idea of struggling with the light side, dark side thing, I think the revenge aspect of that, I think, would have tied into that a little better. Revenge is almost a little too harsh. I agree with that. Yep. But somehow tying that in without it just being like, yep, Jedi's back. Like, Return of the Jedi sounds way better than revenge, but I feel like there's a word similar enough to revenge to drive home the point that, like, I mean, listen, man, they're struggling with this a little bit, that I think could have been cool too.
Mm-hmm.
Were your parents of the Jedi or no?
Oh, what do we call it? The redemption of the Jedi. I would have liked that.
Yeah, redemption,
good. But the thing
especially
is,
Vader's arc.
Well, but that would have given too much away that
I know
Vader turned back to the good side.
I know, but still.
Yeah. And like I said, with the prequels, they had to fit the stuff in. They didn't
which they didn't do a good job at. Honestly, I mean,
honestly, no.
I don't think, especially the whole Anakin's turn to the dark side. I just thought that was so rushed in the prequels. You know, I mean, granted, okay, it's a forbidden love. Oh, it's a forbidden love. Oh no, you know, and then she gets pregnant, and then
Anakin was not the only Jedi that had a forbidden love. There was actually one on there it was okayed by the council to do that.
True, that's fair.
So
yeah.
We keep going. I'm gonna keep going out this road. We're gonna beat the dead horse with the dead horse again. But the thing is, if they were actually, the thing is, the Sith deals with absolutes, and the Jedi never, it was always in the light. Said they didn't end in absolute revenge. Yeah, it was too strong. Hey, I'm reappearing. I'm coming out or return. I'm returning from the exile I was in. So
yeah, I guess the biggest. Now, don't get me wrong. I love this movie. But there were some things that just, I mean, that whole thing with Obi-Wan Kenobi about, you know, well, he did kill him depending on your point of view. And I'm like, what? You know, you just kind of, you're throwing a loop here in what you're trying to teach, you know, but I guess I understood what they were saying is they were trying to say is that in the Jedi way, there is no absolutes.
Yeah.
Just like in the Sith always deals with absolutes. Mm-hmm. So, and I think that's one of the things that they were really trying to drive home was, well, depending on your point of view, you know. So, and I guess since we're talking about things that we don't care about so much, I couldn't stand the Ewoks. I'm sorry, they were annoying. I didn't like them at all. His for those of you out there in YouTube land or audio land that are watching this and you don't know by now because this is a 40-year-old movie. 40, 50, I don't know, whatever. It's old. If you don't know by now that the George Lucas originally wanted it to be Wookiees, but cost too much money. You know, they already had enough that they had to do for Chewbacca alone. And they were like, there's no way we can get a whole bunch of these people out there doing this, you know, when we want to have this big fight scene or all this, so we can use little people and we'll do it as Ewoks, you know. Oh, they're cute. They're this. You know. And that was
the budget in half, literally.
But the thing is,
sorry.
Cut the budget in half.
That was a bad joke.
It saved money. But
bad joke.
Hey, I got a cute little teddy bear. They got to put a cape over it and be Ewok. And they went with it. And they went with what, 2 movies now? They went 2 movies off this.
Yeah, I mean, marketing. It was perfect. It really was because you know how many plush little Ewoks that they sold. You know, little stuff.
And how long those survived. I had one as a child, and that was 20 years after the movie came out.
Yeah.
John, I'm sorry about that.
Remember the toy? The toy was called like Teddy Rumskin or something like that.
Teddy Rumskin.
That's what it looked like to me. There's a bunch of Teddy Rumskins running around.
Ruskin.
I thought it was Rumskin.
Ruskin.
I don't know.
Rumskin.
Anyway,
maybe you're right. Where you put the cassette tape in and he's like, and then he just sits there and raises his eyebrows and talks to you, and it's really creepy if you really think about it.
Not creepy at all. Not creepy at all.
Right? Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. So that's Chuck E. Cheese. That's Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. But kind of going back on what John was talking about, I thought visually it really was. The space battle scene was fantastic. I really, you know.
Yeah.
I kind of got lost on the different. Used to be you could tell who was what squadron by the colors on their wings. If you look at an X-wing, like
yellow,
Luke's X-wing,
red.
Luke was always red 5, so his stripes were red, and he had 5 lines going backward. The commander only had 1 because it was never a red 1. That was always red leader. and it just depending on the stripes, at least on the X-wings, A-wings, they were something new for this movie. So I don't know where they came from. Again, digging deeper into these, to me, I think they would have. It would have behooved them. I know what they did too. They wanted to sell more toys. They wanted to sell more stuff. So this was the beginning of GI. This was what GI Joe followed their footprint of. Hey, the more new things you put in every movie or show, you can turn into toys and sell them. Because Kenner already blew the doors off everything with the. You can't really see it in my picture over here. Well, over there in the back, I've got all the Star Wars characters way back there in the back. They blew the doors off everything when they first came out because they went with Kenner, and Kenner's like, yeah, okay, I will make them, and they couldn't keep up with the demand. It was. I remember when my parents got me the thing. It was a gray like box thing, and it had little stickers you put all their names on them. And then it had a backdrop with what they look like. And then you got it was a 4-pack. It was R2-D2, Chewbacca, Princess Leia, and Luke Skywalker. Those were the 4 you got with the early bird discount or whatever. I forget what it was. You had to get so many, like, what do you call them? Cereal box labels and stuff. Then you can send them in. I did that to get Boba Fett. I remember doing that. And I still have that character. He's hanging up over there. But yeah, though I remember the 4 because they just couldn't get them in the stores when the movie was released. They were trying to get them in the stores when the movie was released, and they couldn't do it. So they were able to mass manufacture the kit where you got the platform and then the little the cardboard piece, and then they would ship you the 4 characters. And then I remember the next one after that I got was Darth Vader, and then the next one after that was Obi-Wan Kenobi, or Han Solo, then Obi-Wan Kenobi, whatever, And did you know they have 2 different heads on the Han Solos? There's actually 2 different heads on the original ones. If you look at their head, one's kind of a big head, one's a little head. Don't ask me why. I mean, trust me, there's some that are extremely rare because they were only in a kit. Meaning, like there was one that was Mos Eisley's Cantina where it had a tiny snaggletooth, or the big snaggletooth. Sorry, it was a blue one. And it was like this big. I've got the little one that you could just buy in the container, but the blue one you had to buy specially. The only way you could get it was if you bought this kit. And it's like some of those are like super rare, So yeah, I've got all of.
You find that one, you pay money for it.
You do. See, I've got all of A New Hope, and I've got all of Empire Strikes Back. I've got some of Return of the Jedi. I just kind of like, okay, I'll get them when I get them eventually, and then I kind of got busy buying other stuff, so that's why I don't have all those yet.
Sounds right.
But yeah, that's kind of how things go. Anybody else have anything good or bad about this movie they want to talk about? We are an audio podcast also, so make sure you're saying stuff.
Oh, sorry. Rattle.
We'll be on this topic for another 30 minutes. We keep going.
Okay. I want to. Okay. We'll get back to that. Okay. Let's go ahead and rate this. Okay, we're going to rate this. Funny, lightsabers. That's how we've been doing it. We're going to rate this on a scale of 0 to 5 lightsabers. And I get to start. Oh, joy of all joys. I'll be honest. I struggled. There's a lot of this movie I really didn't care for. There was a lot of it, as John said. I thought it was kind of a repeat. Okay, another Death Star. Another this. And speaking of which, you guys all know why the Death Star looked like it did? Is because they lost the original plans. All the original blueprints, they lost all that. And so they started piecing it together by watching the movie. And then they were like, well, now we got to make it look different. And then they were just kind of, that just kind of like was the frame. And then they were like putting pieces on, okay, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. And then they were like, hey, let's just leave it like that. That looks cool. So that's why it ended up being different than what it was, because they lost all the original blueprints. So they're out there somewhere, or they were burned. I don't know. But anyway, we're rating this thing, aren't we? I'm struggling between. I mean, I can tell you, I'm between a 4.5 and a 5. I absolutely love the movie. I thought it was great. If I go back to what I've already rated movies this year, definitely it's going to be one of the highest, just because we've had some stinkers already, and we've had some decent ones. I think I'm going to go with a solid 4.5, just because the Ewoks. No, not just the Ewoks. It was funny when I was watching. I watched it this week, and I remember as a kid thinking, "Man, the Emperor is so this evil, bad, and all that." And then this time when I'm watching it as an adult, I was just like, "Oh, that's just bad acting," I mean, so I guess I'm just gonna go slightly lower. I mean, I'm gonna go 4.5 out of 5. So let's go. Chad, you go next.
Yeah, you rewatch this you watch it as a kid. Say, oh yeah, this Emperor's evil and this, and you watch it now. You hear they don't come to. There was a grammar. Whatever he said, it didn't make sense when he said it. He'll come to you when he's ready. He'll be. I'm like, all right. I didn't like the Ewoks. I agree with Dave that, yeah, it was great marketing, great for toys. Other than that, I'm about with Dave on this. I was in between 4.5 and 5. Even if Star Wars, even it's the last of the good trilogy, I got to end it with a 4.5.
Okay. Shane, how about you?
I'm gonna go with a 4.75. Is that possible?
No,
just
no. We're giving you halves.
So, I know.
Because
just
Kylo Ren's got that little
right.
Right.
So
that's why we go with halves.
Leave that part over there.
Well, that's why we're letting him do halves, because it has kind of like a half lightsaber. And if you read the books, some of them have smaller lightsabers. So that's why half.
Like Yoda.
Bigger heads and smaller lightsabers. There you go.
No, actually, in one of the books, they have one that's a full size, and then he can actually twist it and then shorten it down to like a little knife size. It's pretty ingenious, actually.
Yeah.
I think the music by itself gives it a solid 4. Just because it's John Williams. I mean, you can't beat that. I really enjoyed the storyline. There was more. I've seen the movie many times, but it's been a little bit. So there were more comedic parts than I remembered, and I enjoyed it. Honestly, I think Han Solo is the king of the one-liners. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this version of Luke much better. He's not as much of a whiner. He really kind of comes into his own, and I really love that. I agree with Dave that the Emperor really does not seem as sinister as you would hope he would. More of when you think about the very last Star Wars movie that Chad won't let us mention.
You can mention it. We did it pretty close. You can mention it. Don't do the sequels.
Because he was very, very sinister there.
Yeah.
I think mainly for that, and I think just some of the acting could have been a little better, but I'm gonna give it a 4.5 as well.
All right, John, that leaves you.
I mean, let's just not beat around the bush. I wish somebody had gone with the 5. So I'd be like, oh, look, I'm going to be the lower one tonight. But no, 4.5 too. I agree. I'm in full agreement. Especially when you look at the first 2 parts of the trilogies. And see, now I look just like a copycat. Like, you could have gone first over here, and I've been like, yeah, 4.5. No. Now I look like the copycat. It's all right. It's all right. But I'm in full agreement. It deserves a 4.5. It's definitely not the grandiose scale of Empire Strikes Back. It is not the introduction we got in A New Hope. All right. It's not going to live up to those 2. But I will say it rounds out the trilogy in a beautiful way that is no less deserving than a 4.5.
Okay, great. Well, we've got a different section I wanted to kind of start doing. I wanted to ask y'all some questions. You know, before we would ask questions, as I knock my microphone across the room. I wanted to, I mean, because all of us are Christians. We're all people of faith, and I wanted to kind of have us talk a little bit more about that in science fiction movies. So let me start by, let me go to the first question. I actually made little slides of these. So for those of you that are visual, all right, what moral or ethical questions does the film raise about creation, life, or destiny? And by the way, I'm going to ask these same questions on every movie, so we're not going to change them.
I think the Destiny one specifically, you think about going back to the scene where it's Luke, Vader, and the Emperor.
Mm-hmm.
And he keeps talking about this is your destiny, fulfill your destiny.
I've foreseen it. Yeah.
Yes, I have foreseen it. And Luke's like, no, this is where I'm going. And there are so many parallels when you think about the Christian faith and everything like that. And when you think about all of us without Christ, we are all destined to die. That is our destiny. That is our fate. Our fate. Sorry. But there is always that hope. There's always that hope through Jesus for eternal life. And when you think about it specifically for that, Luke always had that hope inside of him, which was the light side of the force versus the dark side of the force. You just have to listen to it. You have to listen to it and follow. And it's not always the easiest thing, quote unquote, to do. But if you do, you find hope, you find peace. If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. No, it does. I think overall too, that idea of destiny, just how much are you really in control? I think it raises that into question. Because in the whole series of Star Wars, you have the underlying idea of the Force. Again, Christian parallels to God, and but how much are you really in control if there's something driving even the questions and thoughts you have just by surrounding your actions? Like, even if it's not directly controlling you, if it's controlling everything around you and that leads you, how much are you really in control? And I don't necessarily think there's a great answer for that in the real world, and I definitely don't think there's a great answer for that even in the Star Wars universe. I mean, it often acts as a preemptive, okay, you kind of sense that there's going to be this danger ahead. What are you going to do to prep for it? But at the same time, it still drives the question, how much are any of our characters really in control in this film? And then again, that's parallel to how much are any of us really in control in real life? If there is some driving force behind everything. So,
yeah.
I think.
All right. Go ahead.
I think what Shane was going at is destiny is always what this. Look at this movie. Yeah, it's all about destiny. Fulfill your destiny. Fulfill, like the Emperor says, hey, grab the lightsaber and fulfill your destiny and roll up the dark side. But yeah, I think Luke was always wanting, beginning of the movie, he even said he still got good light in him. He still got good. I could turn him. He's always has hope to turn his father back to the light.
Mm-hmm.
And if you look at it, the Force and all this was in the Force, people do say Lucas wrote this more as hey, people do say. I heard, well, I don't know. I believe that Lucas wrote this as the fact of underlying the Force was God. He was writing subliminally into it what it was. But the thing is, he was trying to bring his father back to the light That's the same thing. What you look at what Jesus was doing. He was brought to the earth to fulfill a destiny that was prophesied to bring everybody to him. So Luke was doing something subliminally to his, like you saw at the end when Vader was looking at Luke when he was getting shot by the Force lightning. It was like hindsight's 2020. That was the same thing was going on with Master Windu, and he didn't do nothing. Now it's the son. I'm going to pick up the sinister Emperor and throw him down the shaft.
Yeah.
Well,
so, you can go even further with it, Chad. With that same thing, you're thinking about how Luke was always trying to bring him back to the light and show him those ways. How did he do that? He did that through sacrifice. When he was taking those lightning things, he put away his lightsaber and he took those things. That's the same thing that Christ did for us, is through sacrifice. And it's a perfect picture. It really is. It's a perfect picture of it.
Yeah. Let me go to the next question here. Next one is, how do characters express faith? We were just talking about faith a little bit. In themselves, in others, or in something beyond? I was going to say, one of the things I thought when I said these, figured out these questions, it takes a lot of faith. I mean, you notice how they all, like I'm just going to use Lando Calrissian for a minute. He had faith. He's like, hey, you need to give Han just a little bit more time. He'll get the shield down. I have faith in him. I know he will do it, and then he did, and constantly, I mean, you could even go back to, the Empire Strikes Back, how when Yoda was like, you can't leave, you need to finish your training. But he had faith in his, in his friends. He was like, I've got to go help them. I know they're not going to do well. I could already, something's going to happen here. So I think he's kind of thinking the same thing in this is, but he's like, okay, I have faith that if I give myself up, they're still going to be able to do this. And I can bring my father back from the dark side.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I think there's, the general idea of faith in a good ending, if that makes sense. Obviously, even starting as far back as A New Hope, literally A New Hope. And then moving into this film and like, no, we can win. We can defeat the Empire. We can, again, that idea of Luke bringing his father back to the light side. There's just, it's a constant driving factor in the fact that like, no, we can win this fight and we can ideally move forward after it in a better way.
Yeah, you look at this. The same thing goes like if you look at, I know we did this last year, the Rogue One, the story, Star Wars stories, Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
That it was the first battle that you see between good and evil, the resistance against the Empire. Thing is, they had faith. You had that one character in there that the Force was with me. He had faith. He was blind, and he had the most faith of all that team that they can do this. This can work. We got to get this done. The same thing with what Luke is going. I can go. I am in danger in this mission here. I need to get somewhere. So he turned himself in, and knowing well that he can work on his father on the other end and keep that side away from people, away from what the true goal was, until you find out that, oh, the Emperor just did it all for him.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm not going to ask the third question because I think we pretty much already answered it. So with way we've been discussing, which was that I thought that was fantastic how we went through all this stuff. Okay, let's go ahead. Is there anything, I know I've got something that we want to fix or improve on this movie? I can tell you right now, we need to go back to the original ending where you had.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This was the ghosts.
Yep.
Right. It was the actor who was in the suit, who played Darth Vader, especially when he talked to him. that's because Luke would have never known who Hayden Christensen was. This is the face he saw. So this is what he would see. And then after that, I don't know if you guys noticed. I mean, I know the version you guys all saw, there was fireworks on every planet, you know, and then it was all going off. It was only fireworks on Endor where they were at.
Yeah, which would make more sense.
It would make more sense.
The Empire is still out there. There's just because the Emperor is dead doesn't mean that, oh, guess what? Oh, the entire Empire is collapsed. It's not.
Yeah.
Read the books. The books will tell you for sure it's definitely not. There's all kinds of conflicts and stuff afterwards. It's really quite interesting.
See, I'm read the books, look at whatever is out there. It's think about it. You cut the head off the snake, but you still didn't go after the root. You didn't go down to the deep down of, hey, I need to go and have plans. If I'm battling here, I need to have people ready to take over on this to make sure. I agree. I don't change the ending. Keep the Force Ghost. I really do think that you got to think. You heard it episode 3 where Yoda told Obi-Wan, "Hey, your master taught me something, and he's got something to teach you." Where was Qui-Gon? I would have at least put something about Qui-Gon in there. He's one of taught.
Again, Qui-Gon was added afterwards.
I know, but the thing is, I'm just using it as tie-in. You had something to talk. It was added afterwards. I get that. They keep the original Ghost because you saw the face. That's who Luke knew. Who Mark Hamill knew the face of Vader. So why even change? I get why they changed it to keep the. Oh, it's Anakin. Here's what all the young people would know Anakin about.
Yeah.
You can you can cut some of the scenes off just a little bit just to kind of speed things up, but it wasn't a long movie.
I don't know. I thought the flow was pretty good. I mean, like I said, if you really wanted to change it up, give it a planet of Wookiees, you know, or than Ewoks, or something that was just a little bit more, I don't know, a little bit more menacing. I mean, they were just too cute. They really were just too cute. I mean, honestly, the Empire, that's probably why the Empire was just like, yeah, whatever these people are, you know, because they're just these little cutie things. You know, I think they just made them a little too cute. So, and for their size and everything, I mean, it just seems like there's no way they could stand up against the Empire and all the technology and all that. But they proved, and I like that they proved that it was wrong, that they could. Like I said, I would change that. And the whole Leia Luke thing, don't make them. I mean, if you want to make them siblings, fine, then fix the other two. Or have her at the end of this one be like, yeah, when I kissed you, it felt like I was kissing my brother or something, you know, just a throwaway line or something. Be like, you know, well, I've always known, but, you know, I wasn't sure or something like that. You know, I don't know. I mean, just something where it makes it a little less creepy.
Yeah.
My major fix, and I'm actually on the line about this being a fix or not, because they use both of these to drive a plot so well, and they hold on to them in the original trilogy so well, in the sense that they don't overuse them. That I think a lot of the times, both the prequels and the newer ones, I think overuse them. But the saber battles, I could always use more of, especially in the originals. Space battles, again, especially with practical effects. I get why they didn't. I get it. But man, they made some beautiful stuff with their models and explosions, and like I would love to see more space battles, and I would always love to see more saber battles. But again, it's a hard line to draw there, because at the same time, the fact that you get
you want to tell a story and not just pew 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 pew.
Exactly,
you know?
And they used them well, and so when they came about, they were always great. They drove the story along, and they're powerful. I mean, come on, it's lightsabers and laser guns. It's always fun to see more of that.
I agree.
I mean, maybe tweak the whole Jabba the Hutt thing at the end. I mean, it seems like Luke went in there with some kind of plan, but there's no way he could have foreseen that that's how it would have played out, where R2 is going to shoot the lightsaber up there and then he's going to catch it in midair. It's like, okay, I guess, he was going to do something different and just hand it. Luke, R2 was going to hand it to him instead of shooting it in the air.
Well,
I don't know. It just,
I think it was probably his plan was when he first went in there was, hey, if that didn't go wrong and it went real bad, R2 was going to still shoot it, but somehow get it to shoot it up, and Luke grabs it in the play in the Jabba's place, not out where it was. I think that was just George just doing hey, I want to do this and add something to it and make people think that was the plan. I think that was just a thrown in thing.
Maybe. I mean, it was still neat though that it went back to Luke's planet. I think that was a good, like John was saying earlier about that tie-in back to the first movie. They wanted to keep that tie-in there. So, is that everything? I think that's everything on our list.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. I think there's I like the new format. I like the way we're doing things. It's a little different. We appreciate all you guys out there that have watched us and you're like, where have you all been? We needed a break. I needed a break. So we took a break and we're back. We've got a whole, we tweaked our movie list a little bit, but you guys won't notice. You won't know what we changed. So
That's right.
Hey, if you can guess what we changed at the end of the year, kudos to you.
Yeah,
That's
kudos to you. Exactly.
You get a free Sci-Fi Guys point. Just one. Just one point. That's how you get it.
Just one.
I'm back to
all right, everyone. Well, you were gonna say something?
I was thinking one Star Wars credit. What's the money currency of
You get
Star
one
Wars,
unit, or one credit.
Yeah,
I think they are a credit. They're either a credit or
I think they're you can get Imperial credits or you can get Republic credits. I think. I don't know. It's been a while. See, in Star Wars, it's Latinum. I mean, that's just Star Trek. It's Latinum. Sorry, not Star Wars. Oh,
Star Trek. They had they're like, hey, just
well, they didn't until the Ferengi came around and they wanted to have Latinum. So gold press Latinum. So anyway, everyone, until next time, everybody.
Crash and burn.
These Sci-Fi Guys is an independent broadcast and is not affiliated with this movie or TV series. We would love to hear from you. Please contact us by leaving a comment below or by emailing us TheseSciFiGuys@gmail.com. Like, subscribe, or share this podcast with someone else who enjoys science fiction. Subscribe or be vaporized.